Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please join us for Jai Radha Madhav prayers. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari, Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama कृष्णा डियर डिवोटीज, आप सबका स्वागत है, आप सबका अभिनंदन है। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा डियर डिवोटीज, आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आज की श्रीमद् भागवतम क्लास में। जिन व्यूअर्स ने आज पहली बार ज्वाइन किया है, आपका खास वेलकम है। प्रभु जी श्रीमद् भागवतम पे क्लास देते हैं, समराइज्ड एसेंस सभी के साथ शेयर करते हैं। दर्शना भोई जी, नानित जी, साइनहाट जी, उत्तम रॉय, वीना मेहता जी, सीमा छान्ना जी, संजीव गजेट, वीबी राजू, निधि गुप्ता जी, अमित मलकर जी, स्वपन दास, राखी असरानी जी, सभी डिवोटीज का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। बैसाखी जी, हरि बोल। प्रभु जी प्लीज गो अहेड विद द क्लास।
हरे कृष्णा डियर डिवोटीज।
कैन आई पुट ऑन द माइक्रोफोन? इज देयर वर्स आई शुड शेयर विद?
Yes, today we'll be studying Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 28, and specifically within this chapter, description of how we should take darshan of the Lord. Right? That has been described. And we'll be starting with verse 34, where the effect of such, seeing the Lord's form will be discussed. This will be a very short class, just 15 minutes. Hare Krishna. Please join us for Mangalacharan prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiryet Shavatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shamana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto Eha Bhadrani Vidunoti Suhasatam Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Do we have shared the link?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So please join us in the recitation of verse 34 of chapter 28 of Canto 3. Evam hara bhagavati pratilabdha bhavo bhaktya dravada dhridya utpullaka pramodat Atkanthya bhashpa kalaya muhradyamanas tachachapi chitta bodhisham shankar viyunkte. Hare Krishna. This can also be read in another meter. Evam hara bhagavati pratilabdha bhavo bhaktya dravada dhridya utpullakaha pramodat atkantya bhashpa kalaya muhurdhyamanas tachachapi chitta bodhisham shankar viyunkte. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. By following this course, the yogi gradually develops pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari. In the course of his progress in devotional service, the hairs of his body stand erect through excessive joy, and he is constantly bathed in the stream of tears occasioned by intense love. Gradually, even the mind, which he used as a means to attract the Lord, as one attracts a fish to a hook, withdraws from material activities. Hare Krishna. Please join us for Guru Pranati. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tadaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So in this verse, we hear the effect of when a yogi sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead within, standing on the lotus of his heart. So here's this picture where it has been described. And how do we see the Lord? When we look at the Lordship, we look, start with his toes, with his feet. हम उनके पाँव से ऊपर की तरफ देखना शुरू करते हैं, राइट? यस, चरण से हम उनके चरण कमल के दर्शन करते हैं पहले, और उसके बाद में उनके पाँव को देखते हुए ऊपर घुटने, जांघ, और उसके बाद में उनकी कमर, उनका चेस्ट, भुजाएं, और उनका ब्यूटीफुल लोटस लाइक फेस. तो दिस इज अ मेडिटेशन. सो व्हेन वी गो टू द टेम्पल, जब हम टेम्पल में भी जाते हैं, मंदिर में भी जाते हैं, तो हम भगवान को इसी तरह से उन डीटी के दर्शन भी करते हैं. तो उससे क्या होता है, हमारे सेंसेस प्यूरिफाई होते हैं और हमारी जो लाइफ होती है वो प्यूरिफाई होती है. एंड एट द सेम टाइम लॉर्ड कृष्णा इज प्लीज्ड बिकॉज वी आर completely align ourselves with our mind, body and words. All of them get aligned in pleasing Lord Shri Krishna. And these are the only three ways you can perform any activity. So all activities get dovetailed in serving Lord Shri Krishna. So all activities when we perform, we are thinking constantly, how can we please Lord Shri Krishna? And will this please Lord Shri Krishna? Instead of saying, I want to do this, and somehow, in my mind, I rationalize, right? Rational plus lies is rationalize. That, this will please Lord Shri Krishna, but it may be just for our senses. हम केवल अपने आप को ही खुश करने के लिए कोई एक्टिविटी कर रहे होते हैं. तो ऐसी चीज़ों को हमें रैशनलाइज नहीं करना है. तो इस वर्स में बहुत ही प्यारा डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया है श्रील प्रभुपाद ने, पर्पट में किया है. सो लेट्स लुक एट इट. Yeah. So in the second paragraph, it is very nicely given of this purport that one should engage in the service of the Lord 24 hours a day, as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. So Brahma Samhita means constantly we should. And उसके लिए चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने शिक्षाष्टका में 3rd verse में बताया है कि constantly 24 hours कैसे कर सकते हैं. त्रनादपि शुनिचेना तरुरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेना कीर्तनिया सदा हरि. One should think of oneself as more humble than the grass on the street, right? जो घास होती है वो कभी अटैक नहीं करती, आप उसके ऊपर चल पड़ते हो तो बोलती नहीं है कि मेरे ऊपर क्यों पैर रख रहे हो, right? So more humble than the tree, उससे भी ज़्यादा humble बनना है. और more tolerant than the tree. And tree, वृक्ष, the meaning of वृक्ष is one that is meant to be cut down. तो जब वृक्ष होता है, trees होते हैं, when they are growing and they are providing fruits, flowers and medicines and so many herbs to us, right? और उसके बाद में at the end we also cut them to make houses, furniture and so many things from wood. But they don't protest. So they are so tolerant that during the time, during when they are growing, they are constantly giving, and even when they are cut, they are constantly giving. So, and Amanina Manadina. Amanina means not expecting respect from others. Manadina, ready to give all respect to others. Kirtaniya Sadhari, one can engage in the chanting glorification of the Lord constantly. And how do we also pray? So again, how do we chant? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Which is in a mood of prayer, we are calling out to the Lordship, Lord Shri Krishna, Mother Radha and Lord Ram to please engage us in their service. So इस तरह से 24 hours we can engage as confirmed in Brahma Samhita. So Srila Prabhupada is also giving very nice reference where in Brahma Samhita Prema Jana Chachurita Bhakti Vilochanena Santah Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. So that verse is referring, he's giving that indication in this statement. The stage of Premanjana Charita can be attained by developing complete love. So the process, the science of devotional service starts with faith. Adha Shraddha Tatu Sada Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Navrati Syat. And it simply proceeds from that point onwards. Kis tarah se from faith one gets the company of sadhus, devotees. And by taking the company of devotees, one aspires to have a spiritual master and one engages in bhajana kriya. So the spiritual master, engages his disciple in bhajana kriya. Disciple, what's the meaning of disciple? Sometimes people ask, what's the difference between devotee and disciple? Devotee is engaged in devotional service. A disciple is ready to be disciplined. So one who's always so humble so that he is ready to improve, ready to get feedback, to improve, especially from his spiritual master, one can constantly move forward in their spiritual journey. And Premanjana Chacharita, so again, the eyes are imbued with love. So again, from Bhajanakya Anartha Nivrati Sat, all the anarthas, they are destroyed. And again, one gets, Nishtha. And Nishtha is like a stronger faith. So you start with little faith, but you get much stronger faith, Nishtha. And then comes Asakti. And Asakti is attachment towards the Lordship. So you are getting detached automatically. Just like, when you engage in attachment to someone, your time is taken away by that activity. You don't have time for the other activities, so you're automatically getting detached. And then Ruchi, then attraction starts in that direction. And when the Ruchi starts, again, one gets the Asakti and then Ruchi, and then finally one comes to Bhava stage. One starts having this, emotions, attachment towards the Lordship, and finally comes to the stage of Prema, which is, concentrated Bhava, that final stage. So one can be, again, attain this stage by engaging in devotional service under the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master. When one's love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotional service is fully developed, one always sees the Lord even without artificially meditating on His form. So in the beginning stages, we meditate, we look at the pictures of the Lordship, His name, form, activities, pastimes, we meditate on those artificially. But when we come to the stage of love, there is no artificial, because Lord, He manifests to us, so we can directly see Him constantly, 24 hours a day. His vision is divine because He has no other engagement. So we can spiritualize our body right now, right here, and our vision becomes spiritualized, our memory becomes spiritualized, our existence is spiritualized. So why have material experience when we are spiritual beings? We should have spiritual experience. At this stage of spiritual realization, it is not necessary to engage the mind artificially, since the meditation recommended in the lower stages is a means to come to the platform of devotional service. Those already engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord are above such meditation. This stage of perfection is called Krishna consciousness. So what is Krishna consciousness? The perfection is stage where we are constantly engaged in devotional service, and we are constantly meditating on the Lordship and engaging all our activities to please Lord Shri Krishna. So the process is very, very simple. It starts simply with the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And initially we follow the four regulative principles, which may appear to us, making some effort. But this is to not engage in sinful reactions, because they are sins. When you eat meat, you're causing other living entity to suffer. That's a sin. When you are engaged in gambling, you're causing havoc all around you, including on yourself. That's a sin. When you are engaged in illicit sex, that's also a sin. And when you are engaged in intoxication, right, that's also a sin. So again, we don't engage in sinful activities. And further, when we become more spiritualized by chanting minimum 16 rounds on a daily basis, as Srila Prabhupada said, and on special day 25 rounds, we purify our existence, and thus we come to the level, of getting initiation from a bona fide spiritual master. We engage in bhajana kriya, and anartha nivrati syat. So again, all the anarthas, they leave us, they are completely destroyed. nashta prayasha bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. So automatically we are engaged in serving the Lord on a regular basis, and that's why nityam bhagavata sevaya means on a regular basis we should be reading Srimad Bhagavatam. As we hear in this verse, Srila Prabhupada is giving us wonderful instructions कि कैसे हम by taking to devotional service, by just doing service, by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, by seeing the beautiful form of the Lordship in Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Kapil Dev, who is son of Devahuti, is telling his mother, Hare Krishna. And sometimes people also say, how could a son be instructing? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that anyone who knows the science of Krishna can preach Krishna consciousness. So there is no restriction that there has to be, the person has to be, a sannyasi only. They say he's actually gives the example of Gopal Guru, the young 9-year-old boy who actually gave him instruction, and he accepted that. Here, Lord Kapil Dev is none other than, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is appearing as son of Devahuti and Karda Muni, and is giving instruction to his mother. And even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we hear how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a sannyasi, he wants to hear from Ramanand Rai. And Ramanand Rai is getting disturbed because he is a householder, he is a grahastha, and he is preaching to a sannyasi. So it's a very nice conversation. So we should understand that Krishna consciousness is all about purifying our senses, purifying our lives, spiritualizing it, and pleasing Krishna in the process, so that we can attain the spiritual existence. So again, a devotee does not care about where and in what condition they are, but always engaging in devotional service. And that's why Srila Prabhupada said, my dear Lord Krishna, you are in my heart, right? Please don't let me forget you ever. Please give me the remembrance to always chant your name. I'm paraphrasing some of that. So again, to constantly chant. And Srila Prabhupada said, if you have time, chant the holy name. Hare Krishna. And the process is very simple. All you have to do is call it out to the Lordship with love, with devotion, with gratitude. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Kori Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Nitaya Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.